a Crimson Panda here, and I will be doing a review on Nanbaka, which is an anime which came out on the 5th of October 2016, and it had 13 episodes. In this review, I will be talking about the story, the characters, and the music, and then I'll give the overall of what I think of the anime. So, the story of Nanbaka, it's basically a prison, a dangerous prison which holds dangerous inmates, and it starts off as a narration, and it says that Nanbaka is a prison which is impossible to escape from, and it says that it's got tons of traps which if inmates try to escape, they will be caught by these traps, and as it goes on, after about a minute, the narration goes on. Wait, what? Hold on. 4 people have escaped again. And these 4 people are the main people in this anime, and their names are Uno, Nico, Jugo, and Rock. These 4 are the ones that like to break out of prison for fun, and they get past the traps what are installed into Nanbaka with ease. I mean, they make it look very, very easy. It's not very hard for them or challenging, as they've gone from prison to prison, escaping together. And the prison guard which stops them, it's called Hajime. As they get to the end of the prison, they get to outside. Hajime is standing there, who is the guard of Building 13, Cell 13, and he's super strong. He's one of the strongest in the whole prison, and he basically stops them from escaping. And after that, it basically sits around Uno, Nico, Jugo, and what they do in prison, what they do spending their time, how they spend their time in prison, basically. Now the prison guards this anime is completely different to the anime called Prison School. It's way more vibrant, and it's more colorful, and in honesty, I feel like this prison is way more laid back compared to the prison in Prison School, as the prisoners in Nanbaka, they get to do what they want, and they can chill, they got their own space, they can do certain activities, while in Prison School, they're not allowed to do, they're more restricted for prisoners, and more restricted on what they're allowed to do. I mean, they're hardly allowed to leave their cells, but in Nanbaka, they're more free in a way to leave their cells and do whatever how they want. I know there's a season 2. I haven't been to season 2, but I'm planning to watch it sooner or later. But once I get around to watching the season 2, I'm just gonna talk about what happens in season 2, then just making this longer, and it's hard to explain. I'll just tell you what happens in season 2. Now, the characters that I am just going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about every single character, as that'd be way too long and it would get boring, and I don't think you want to hear every single character. So I'm just going to talk about the ones which are mostly important, talk about the ones that are mostly important and the ones that you should pay attention to. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Jugo. He's a confident, cheerful, and impulsive young man who tends to get bored easily, and you see this in the anime. As the other 3, which are Uno, Rock, and Nico, they're more, I guess you could say they're more lively compared to him. He's kind of like an observer, and he doesn't really, even though he's kind of focused more on in the anime, he doesn't do much. Now, Jugo does have lots of flaws, but even though he has so many flaws, he's a person that understands the people that are around him. As I said, he's a good observer. He also has a really dark side, and He's the one which has a 15 under his left eye. He has shackles, so he's the one with black hair. He has shackles around, which these shackles have been put on him by a prison guard, and Jugo has been trying to find this so-called prison guard to remove the shackles. But yeah, like I said, he doesn't really have that many talents, and the only thing that he's good at is breaking up prisons. So security, not coding, security. He's just good at puzzles. So I think there's this scene where gives him like this Rubik's cube, and says that, oh, it's impossible to eat, it takes a long time for you to get the same colors to the right place, and Jugo finishes it in a matter of seconds. And yeah, that's all. I really like Jugo because as you go on, you find out more. You basically find out more about him than the other three characters, which are main characters in this anime. You find out that these shackles can turn into these kind of knives which the so-called prison guard put onto him. Next character I'm going to talk about is Uno. Uno is, he's another main character, and he was arrested for gambling in underground casinos. He's really friendly and caring, and he's the one that gives good advice to prisoners and the people that he hangs around with the most. He doesn't really lose his temper, and he loves women basically. Again, I don't really have much to say about Uno. I think that's it now. He likes gambling. He likes gambling. He finds it interesting. It's just something to pass time for him. He's a person that guides the other three, which are Rock, Jugo, and Nico. He kind of guides them and gives them advice. He's basically the father, and he kind of guides them and makes sure that they don't do things which are stupid. Nico is the third character, he's the third main character, and he's very cheerful. And Nico, every time I see Nico, he just reminds me of a girl. He just looks very girl-like, and I feel like that's just down to design, because they just decided to make Nico look like a girl. We do see a flashback of Nico, and he's kind of secured onto this bed, and he's drugged out his nose. And in the anime, it says that he's escaped multiple prisons because of the drugs that he has to take. Obviously not as good, but as he's become to Nanbaka, he's hurts the drugs, and he's not forced in a way to take his drugs. But he's basically the so-called drug addict, I guess you could say. And he really likes gaming and anything anime related. As you go through the anime, you see him mostly reading manga or watching some sort of anime, and he's able to copy people's fighting. And the last person I'm going to talk about is Rock. Rock is the fourth main character in this anime, and he's basically the brawler. He's kind of dumb, but he does have these times where he's actually smart. I'd say that we also see his backstory, where he's from a wealthy family, but he doesn't really like his father, which makes him turn to a life of crime and fighting, and then he gets caught by the police, and that's where he doesn't really eat food, and he's the first person that we actually see him and doesn't really eat food, just goes around beating people up. Very aggressive character at first, but then as he goes into Jugo, Jugo gives him some food, which he wasn't allowed to have as he was in this certain prison. But Jugo gives him some food, and that's the first time Jugo and Rock meet. And then they break. Jugo breaks Rock and himself out of prison, and they go to this cafeteria, this bar, and they eat cheeseburgers, and that's when Rock decides that he loves food more than he likes fighting. But Rock is very, very strong, and he just loves to eat food because of Judo. The last person we check out is Hajime. Hajime is the prison guard, like I said, for Block 13, Cell 13, and he basically takes care of mostly the four main characters, which is Rock, Nico, and Judo. And he basically takes care of them, make sure that they don't escape, and basically keeps things in order in Block 13, Block 13, but mostly he takes care of the main one. And he takes the job very seriously, and he's a person, he's a workaholic. You can't remain still, you have to work. There's this scene as he beats Jugo nearly to death, well, basically to death. He's kind of not disbanding. He's cut off work, and as he's cut off work, it's like a temple thing for him, as he's a workaholic, and you will see that him doing some sort of paperwork, but these are his work related. But he has this demonic strength, and he's I'd say one of the strongest in the whole Nanbaka prison. He doesn't really like the prisoners. He kind of thinks that he has to guard them. Like I said, workaholic, he takes his job very seriously and he doesn't want to mess up for. And we see this as Rock, Nico, and Jugo escape and captures them, and he doesn't really want to tell the warden that they have been getting away, as it could just be a bad reputation, as he finds the warden scary, even though the warden loves him, but he doesn't know this, so he keeps it kind of a secret as he's just scared of her. But Haji is a good guy, deep down. And yeah, that's it. The characters that I'm looking for. The music is top notch, and I really like the music. The opening is really good, and it was catchy. And most of the time, I don't really watch the opening each time for each episode of the anime. But for this anime, I think this is a must.